She inquired about the almond milk without ever glancing up from her phone. That's when I realized it was over. 3 years of being invisible, treated like furniture in my own home. That night, I walked out without saying a word. Now she's calling 43 times, texting 68 times. Desperate. Too late. My name is Fletcher Kane. I'm 42 years old, and I oversee a fleet of delivery trucks for a regional distribution company in Ohio. Honest work. I've been at it for 16 years. Ever since my first marriage ended, that divorce taught me one thing. I'd rather be alone than feel lonely next to someone. Funny how I forgot that lesson the second time. I met Elise at a company barbecue 5 years ago. She worked in accounting. Stunning woman, dark hair, quick-witted, with this ability to make you feel like the only person in the room. That feeling lasted only about 8 months into the marriage. The morning it ended started like any other Wednesday. I was making coffee when Elise came downstairs, already scrolling on her phone. "Where did you put the almond milk?" she asked without looking up. I opened the fridge and handed it to her. She took it silently. "No, thank you." No eye contact, just her thumb scrolling on that screen as if I were an appliance. I stood there and felt something shift in my chest. Not anger, something quieter, more final. "Elise," I said. She didn't respond. I watched her pour the milk, put the carton back, walk to the table, still scrolling. "Elise," I said louder. She made a sound without looking up. That, told me everything. I was background noise. A mosquito buzzing near her ear rather than her husband. I had a son from my first marriage. Nolan, 16, lived with his mother, Jolene, up in Cleveland. The last time he visited, about a month ago, he pulled me aside after dinner. "Dad, why do you let her treat you like that?" No one asks quietly. "Like what, buddy?" "Like you're invisible." Spoken by a teenager, the kid saw in one weekend what I'd ignored for 3 years. I gave him some generic answer about marriage being complicated. He nodded, but the disappointment in his eyes was clear. My son thought I was weak. He was right. That Wednesday, I worked as usual, checked maintenance logs, handled a driver dispute, managed a delayed shipment, but my mind wasn't there. I kept thinking about Nolan's question, about the last time Elise had actually looked at me when we spoke. I couldn't remember. That night, I sat at the kitchen table after Elise went to bed. I thought about leaving a note, an explanation, but what could I say? "Dear Elise, you forgot I exist, so I'm leaving." I didn't write anything. I just sat until 2 a.m., packed a bag, and walked out. I left my wedding ring on the counter next to the almond milk. No slammed doors, no note. Just left. It's been 71 days. She's called 43 times, texted 68 times, even sent a Facebook message, which was bizarre since she never used Facebook. I haven't replied. Not out of spite. I just have nothing to say. For 3 years, she had every opportunity to see me. Now I'm gone. Suddenly she wants to talk. Some silences last too long to break. I rented a studio apartment across Columbus. Nothing fancy, just a bed, a hot plate, a window facing a parking lot. But it's mine. Nobody expects anything from me here. The first week was odd. I kept waking at 5 a.m., out of habit, ready to make coffee for 2. Then I'd remember, just me now? I can make coffee at noon if I want, drink it straight from the pot, leave dishes in the sink overnight. Freedom felt emptier than expected. Work kept me occupied. My boss, Dale, noticed something different but didn't pry. That's what I liked about logistics. Men who did this job didn't ask personal questions. They just showed up and worked. But on day 12, my phone rang during lunch. Jolene's name appeared. "Fletcher," she said, voice tense. "We need to talk." "Everything okay with Nolan?" My chest tightened. That's always the first thought. Is my son okay? "Nolan's fine, but your wife came to my house last night," Jolene continued. I sat up straighter. Elise drove 3 hours to Cleveland, rang my doorbell at 9 p.m., mascara running down her face, asking if I knew where you were. She looked like she'd been crying for days. I said nothing. What could I say? Jolene's tone softened. "Fletcher, I never thought I'd say this, but that woman is falling apart. She sat on my porch an hour crying, kept saying she didn't see, didn't realize, didn't understand." "Did you tell her where I am?" I asked. "No, you asked me not to." "But Fletcher, I've got to ask what happened. I saw how she treated you. No one else did, either. But on my porch, she looked destroyed." I leaned back. "She ignored me for 3 years, Jolene. 3 years of being invisible in my own house. Now I'm gone, and suddenly she cares. Maybe she needed me to leave to realize what she had. Jolene said softly, I'm not defending her. God knows I saw how she was. But people don't always know what they've got until it's gone. That's not my problem anymore, I said. But even as I spoke, something twisted in my gut. I know, I'm not telling you what to do. But last night, someone asked after she left, Mom, do you think Dad's okay? Not physically. He meant in here. I imagined Jolene tapping her chest over her heart. He's worried about you. Tell him I'm fine, I said. Are you? I glanced around the break room. Motivational poster about teamwork on the wall, coffee stains on the table, the hum of the vending machine. Was I fine? I'm better than I was. Finally, I replied. Tell Nolan I'll call him this weekend. All right, but Fletcher, whatever you choose regarding Elise, make sure it's for you. Not out of guilt. Not because she's crying. For you. After hanging up, I stayed for another 20 minutes. Elise had driven 3 hours to find me. She was falling apart. Part of me felt vindicated. The larger part felt nothing. Maybe that was the saddest thing. I didn't hate her. I simply didn't care anymore. 3 weeks in, I started going to a gym near my apartment. Not a fancy one with juice bars and trainers. Just a basic setup with weights and a heavy bag. I needed to hit something that wouldn't hit back. That's where I met Vincent, former Army, late 50s, built like stone. One evening, he saw me struggling with a bench press and walked over. Your form's terrible, Vincent said. No introduction, no sugarcoating. You're going to tear something. He showed me the proper technique. We didn't speak much that first session, but he was there the next night and the next. By the second week, we had a routine: lift, hit the bag, barely speak. One night, after I'd pounded the heavy bag like it owed me money, Vincent handed me a water bottle. Woman or job? He asked. What? Men don't hit a bag like that without trouble at home or work. Which one? Woman, I admitted. Married. She treated me like furniture. I left. Vincent nodded slowly. A good man who stays where he's not valued isn't a man at all. He's a doormat with a heartbeat. Those words hit differently, coming from a man who'd likely seen real combat, who knew true strength. They mattered. My ex-wife showed up at my first wife's house crying. Drove 3 hours looking for me. Let me guess, Vincent said, wiping sweat from his face. Now she realizes what she lost. They always do. Question is, what are you going to do? Nothing. I'm done. Then be done. Don't half-step. Don't feel guilty. You gave her years to see you. That's on her. Vincent grabbed his gym bag. Same time tomorrow. Yeah. Thanks, Vincent. Don't thank me. Show up and stop feeling sorry for yourself. You're free. Act like it. Walking back to my apartment that night, something shifted. Vincent was right. I was free. For the first time in years, nobody expected me to shrink. The next morning, I called Nolan. Hey, Dad. He sounded surprised. Everything okay? Everything's fine, buddy. Just checking in. Your mom said Elise came by. Yeah, that was strange. She looked really messed up, Dad. Like really bad. Nolan said carefully. I know, but Nolan, understand this. What happened between Elise and me isn't your responsibility. Don't worry about either of us. I'm doing well. Better than well, actually. You sound different, Nolan noticed. Different how? I don't know. Stronger, I guess. Like you're not apologizing for existing, he said, out of a teenager's mouth. I'm working on it. Hey, want to come down this weekend? We could catch a game, grab some food. Really? Yeah, that'd be great. Can we go to that barbecue place you like? Absolutely. I'll pick you up Saturday morning. After hanging up, I sat smiling. My son noticed I'd changed. That meant something. That meant I was doing this right. Saturday with Nolan was exactly what I needed. We hit the barbecue place, watched a minor league game, and just talked. Not about Elise, not about the divorce, just normal father-son stuff. He told me about school, a girl he liked but was too nervous to approach, his post-graduation plans. Dropping him off Sunday afternoon, Jolene came out. He had a great time. Thanks for letting him come on short notice. Of course. Fletcher, can we talk? Jolene glanced at Nolan. Go inside, honey. I need to speak with your dad. Once Nolan was in the house, Jolene's expression changed. Elise came back yesterday, she said quietly. Sat in her car across the street for 4 hours. Just watching the house. It freaked me out enough that I almost called the police. Did she try to approach you? No, she just sat there. Finally, she drove off around dinner. Fletcher, this isn't normal, Jolene said, concern creasing her face. The woman is obsessed with finding you. I'll handle it, I replied. You can't just ignore someone who's borderline stalking you, Jolene countered. Look, I know she treated you poorly. I saw it. But this desperation, it's worrying. What if she shows up at work? I hadn't considered that. Elise knew where I worked. She could walk into the depot anytime. I'll figure it out. Sorry she's dragging you into this. I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about what happens when she finds you, I said. Just be careful, Jolene warned. Driving back to Columbus, my phone rang, unknown number. I almost didn't pick up, but something made me. Fletcher Kane, an unfamiliar female voice. Who's asking? My name is Geneva Hart. I'm an attorney. We need to talk about your wife, she said, professional and direct. Or rather, what she's been doing with your credit. My stomach sank. What are you talking about, Mr. Kane? I don't usually make calls like this, but a colleague mentioned your situation. I ran a basic check on your finances as a favor. There are some irregularities you need to know about. Credit cards in your name, significant charges. Can we meet? When? Tomorrow. My office. 9 a.m. She gave me the address. I sat in my truck outside Jolene's house for another 10 minutes, gripping the steering wheel. Credit cards? What had Elise done? The next morning, I entered Geneva Hart's office. She was in her 50s, gray hair pulled back, sharp, wearing a suit that meant business. No-nonsense handshake. Mr. Kane, thank you for coming. Let me be direct. Your wife has opened 3 credit cards using your information. Total balance? $47,000, Geneva said, sliding papers across the desk. The room spun. $47,000. On what? Wellness retreats, something called spiritual healing sessions with a man named Desmond. Luxury hotels in Sedona, Hawaii, Colorado. This wasn't casual spending. It was systematic. I stared at the statements. Charges going back 18 months. Hotels, flights, $500 per hour sessions. Desmond, I said quietly, the name tasting like poison. Her spiritual advisor. Geneva's expression hardened. Mr. Kane, I've seen this before. These advisors target vulnerable people. The problem here is she used your credit to fund it. That's fraud. You have grounds for legal action against her and him. But first, we protect you. Freeze the accounts. File a police report. Start a case. I know it's overwhelming, but you need to act fast, Geneva said. I looked at the papers again. $47,000. While I worked 10-hour days managing truck routes, she was flying to Hawaii with another man on my dime. Let's do it, I said. All of it. Geneva smiled slightly. Good. Men who let themselves get walked on usually don't find their spine. I'm glad you did. Geneva moved quickly. Within 3 days, the credit cards were frozen, police report filed, and divorce papers drafted. She'd also done something I hadn't requested. I tracked down Desmond. His real name is Desmond Parrish, Geneva said during our follow-up, sliding a file across the desk. He's 41, no legitimate credentials, and he's done this before. 3 other women in the past 5 years. Same pattern. Poses as a spiritual healer, builds emotional dependency, drains bank accounts. I opened the file. Photos of Desmond. Handsome. That kind of face that makes women feel safe while he takes their money. Where is he now? I asked. Arizona, Tucson, running another healing center. Really a way to meet desperate women with money. But here's the interesting part. Your wife has been calling him nonstop since you left. 20 to 30 times a day. He stopped answering. A cold feeling settled in my chest. She was using him, or he was using her. Probably both. These relationships were transactional. She sought validation. He sought money. Now that I'm gone and the money's cut off, he moved on to the next target, Geneva explained. Which means Elise is about to realize she destroyed her marriage for a con artist who never cared about her. Good, I said flatly. Geneva studied me. Most men in your position want revenge. You just want out. That's smart. Shows character. I just want my life back. You'll get it. The fraud charges will stick. Divorce will be straightforward with this evidence. You'll come out clean, Mr. Kane. Then she paused. But I should warn you. When cornered, people get desperate. Your wife knows she's losing everything. That makes her unpredictable. Her words proved prophetic faster than I expected. 2 days later, I was at work when Dale entered my office, looking uneasy. Fletcher, there's a woman in the parking lot asking for you, Dale said carefully. She says she's your wife. She's been out there for an hour. Security's getting nervous. My stomach sank. I'll handle it, I replied. I walked outside to see Elise standing next to her car. She looked awful. Hair unwashed, clothes wrinkled, dark circles under eyes that makeup couldn't hide. When she saw me, she straightened. Fletcher, please. We need to talk, Elise said, her voice breaking. There's nothing to discuss. Divorce papers will be served next week. I replied, keeping my distance. I made a mistake. I know I did, but we can fix this. Counseling, we can work it out, Elise began. You opened credit cards in my name, I interrupted. Spent $47,000 on another man. That's not a mistake, Elise. That's fraud. Her face went pale. How? I can explain. Desmond was helping me through a tough time. You were always working, never there. Don't dare blame me for your choices, I said firmly. I worked to support us. You took that money and spent it on a con artist who won't even answer your calls anymore. She flinched. You've been checking up on me. My attorney has. You're being investigated for fraud. The police have your statements. This isn't about our marriage anymore. This is about what you did, I stated clearly. Elise's expression shifted from desperate to angry. You're really going to destroy me over this after everything I gave you? What did you give me, Elise? 3 years of being invisible. Treated like nothing, I asked steadily. You ignored me until I left. Now regret is eating you alive, and you're desperately searching for me. But it's too late. I'm done. Go home. Call a lawyer. Don't come to my workplace again, or I'll file for a restraining order. I turned and walked back inside, leaving her in the parking lot. Through the window, I watched her sit in her car another 20 minutes before finally driving off. My hands shook, not from fear, but relief. I had stood my ground, not backed down, not let guilt manipulate me. Vincent would be proud. That night at the gym, I hit the heavy bag until my knuckles ached. Vincent watched silently until I stopped. She showed up at your work, Vincent said. Not a question. How do you know? You're hitting that bag like it insulted your mother. What happened? I told him everything. The parking lot confrontation, the fraud charges, the pending divorce papers. Vincent nodded slowly. You handled it right. Stayed calm, stated the facts, walked away. That strength, real strength, isn't about fighting. It's knowing when the fight is already over. She looked destroyed. That's not your problem. She destroyed herself. You're just refusing to go down with her. Over the next week, everything moved fast. Divorce papers were served. Elise's attorney tried to negotiate, but Geneva was relentless. The fraud evidence was ironclad. Elise had 2 options: accept the terms or face criminal charges. She accepted. Settlement was clean. She got nothing but her personal belongings. The house would be sold, debts paid from her half. I kept my truck, my pension, my dignity. Geneva called the day the papers were finalized. Congratulations, Mr. Kane. You're officially divorced. This might be the cleanest cut I've seen in 20 years. She didn't fight, didn't drag it out. Reality finally hit her. What about Desmond? He's being investigated. One of his previous victims filed charges 6 months ago. Your case added to the pile. He'll likely be arrested within a month. In a way, you helped take down a predator, Geneva explained. After hanging up, I called Nolan. Hey, buddy, got some news. The divorce is final. How do you feel? Nolan asked. Honestly, free. Like I can breathe again, I said. Hey, I was thinking, would you like to spend more time down here? Maybe alternate weeks instead of just weekends? Really? Yeah, that'd be awesome. Mom won't mind, Nolan said, excited. I'll talk to her. But Nolan, know this. What happened with Elise wasn't about you. You're concerned for me. Noticing I wasn't okay, that meant everything. You're a good kid. Thanks, Dad. And Dad, I'm glad you left. You seem like yourself again. Those words stayed with me for days. I seemed like myself again. Maybe because I finally was. 2 months after the divorce, I'd settled into a rhythm. Work, gym, occasional dinners with Nolan when he visited. Life was quiet, but it was mine. Then Randall appeared. I was leaving the depot after a long shift when a man approached in the parking lot. Mid-40s, tired eyes, cautious posture. Fletcher Kane, he asked. Who's asking? I kept my keys between my fingers, ready. My name is Randall. I'm Elise's ex-husband, he said, hands raised in peace. I'm not here to cause trouble. I just need to talk about something important. I studied him. He didn't seem threatening, just worn out. All right, 5 minutes, I said. Randall nodded, leaning on his truck. I heard about your divorce. News travels fast. I wanted to warn you about something. Elise's children, 2 of them. Mine. A boy, 10, and a girl, 8. My stomach turned cold. What? She left us 6 years ago. One morning, gone. Left a note saying she wasn't meant to be a mother. Haven't seen her since. No calls, no birthday cards, nothing, Randall explained, voice heavy with old pain. My kids ask about her sometimes. I don't know what to tell them anymore. I leaned back against my truck, processing. She told me she never wanted kids, that she couldn't imagine being a mother. She didn't have to imagine it. She lived it and abandoned them. Randall said bitterly, I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but when I learned she remarried, I hoped maybe she'd changed. Then I heard about the divorce and what she did to you. Realized she hasn't changed at all. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Because you deserve better than what she gave you. And so you know, whatever guilt you feel about leaving her, you can let it go. You're not the first she discarded when it was inconvenient. You're the first who had the courage to leave before she destroyed you completely. Randall met my eyes. My kids, they're good kids. They deserved a mother who stayed. You deserved a wife who saw you. Neither of us got what we deserved from her. We stood in silence. How are your kids? I asked. Better now. Took a lot of therapy, but they're resilient. Kids are tougher than we think, Randall said, smiling faintly. They've got me. My parents. Stability. More than Elise ever gave. I'm sorry she did that to them, I said sincerely. Me too. But I'm not sorry anymore she left. My kids are better off without someone who didn't want them, Randall replied. And you're better off without someone who didn't value you. After Randall drove away, I sat in my truck for a long time. Elise had abandoned her own children. The woman I married, the woman I tried so hard to please, had walked away from 2 innocent kids like they meant nothing. Suddenly, it all made sense. The coldness, the distance, the way she treated me like I was disposable. She'd done it before. I was just another repeat in her pattern. That night, I called Nolan. Hey, Dad. What's up? Just wanted to hear your voice. Tell you I love you, and I'm proud of you. I asked, Dad, are you okay? Yeah, buddy. Better than okay. I just realized how lucky I am to have you. I told him honestly. Love you too, Dad. You're being weird, but I'll take it. Nolan laughed. After hanging up, I looked around my small apartment. It wasn't much, but it was honest. No lies, no hidden children, no financial fraud. Just me trying to build something real, and that was enough. 3 months after the divorce, my boss Dale called me into his office. Fletcher, I've been watching you. You've been solid, reliable, showing up every day despite everything in your personal life. I'm promoting you to Regional Operations Manager. More money, more responsibility. You've earned it. I was momentarily speechless. Say yes. The company needs good people. You're one of them, Dale said with a grin. Plus, you'll finally afford a place bigger than that shoebox apartment. He was right. With the promotion, I could start rebuilding. Living, not just existing. That weekend, I went house hunting. Found a small 3-bedroom on Columbus outskirts. Nothing fancy, but a yard, garage, and most importantly, a room for Nolan. I signed the papers the following week. On moving day, Vincent showed up with his truck. You didn't have to help, I said, surprised. A man doesn't move alone. Sad, Vincent replied, already grabbing boxes. Besides, I wanted to see what you built for yourself. By afternoon, with Vincent and some work guys, everything was moved in. We sat on the back porch with beers, looking out at the empty yard. You did well, Fletcher. From doormat to homeowner in just 4 months. Not bad, Vincent said approvingly. I couldn't have done it without your help, I admitted. The gym, the talks that kept me focused, I added. I just reminded you that you had a backbone. Using it was your choice, Vincent corrected. So what's next? I asked. Next, I focus on work, on Nolan, on building something stable. Maybe eventually I'll start dating again, but not yet. I need to figure out who I am outside of being someone's husband, I said thoughtfully. A man who knows himself is dangerous, in a good way, Vincent replied with a slight smile. Later that evening, Nolan arrived with Jolene to see the new house. Dad, this is amazing. Nolan ran through the house, checking out his room, the garage, everything. Can I really stay here on weekends? Weekends, holidays, summer, whenever you want. This is your home too, I said. After Jolene left, Nolan and I sat in his room as he unpacked. Dad, can I ask you something? He looked up. Anything, buddy. Are you happy now? Really happy? He asked seriously. I thought about it. The divorce, the betrayal, the financial chaos, the confrontation, but also the gym, the promotion, the house, the freedom to be myself. Yes, Nolan. I really am, I said. Honestly, good. You deserve it. Nolan said simply and went back to unpacking. Standing in the doorway, watching my son settle into his room in our new house, I realized something. Elise had taken a lot from me. Time, money, self-respect. But not everything. She hadn't taken my ability to start over, to build something real, to be the father my son needed. I had survived. I had won, not by destroying her, but by refusing to let her destroy me. That night, lying in my new bedroom, I slept better than I had in years. 5 months after the divorce, I ran into Elise at a grocery store near my new place. She was in the produce section, staring at apples like they held the secrets of the universe. She had lost too much weight. Her clothes hung loosely, her hair in a messy ponytail. She looked up and saw me. For a moment, neither of us moved. Fletcher, she said quietly, setting down the apple. Elise, I replied, keeping my distance. I heard about your promotion. Congratulations, she said, genuine emotion in her voice, not manipulation. Thank you. She took a breath. I know you don't want to hear from me. I don't even deserve 5 minutes of your time, but I need to say this, then I'll leave you alone forever. You have 5 minutes, I said. Elise nodded, eyes filling with tears. I was wrong about everything. I took you for granted, ignored you for years, treated you like you didn't exist. Now regret is eating me alive. I tried to fix what I destroyed. She paused, wiping her eyes. Desmond was arrested last month. Fraud charges for multiple women. I was just another victim. I threw away a good man, a real marriage, for a con artist who didn't care. And the worst part, I knew you were good and still treated you like nothing. Why are you telling me this? I asked steady. Because you deserved better than what I gave you. You deserved to be seen, valued, loved. I couldn't give that because I was too busy running after myself, she said, voice breaking. I left my kids. Fletcher, Randall told you, right? I nodded. I was a terrible mother. A terrible wife to both of you. I can't fix that. But I want you to know leaving was the best thing that could have happened. Not for me, for you. You deserve freedom. Elise finished, tears streaming. I stood there, looking at the woman who had once been my wife. No anger, no satisfaction, just quiet acceptance. I hope you figure out whatever you're running from, I said. I hope you get help. But I can't be part of that journey. I need my own life now. I know. I just wanted you to know I'm truly sorry. You were a good man, Fletcher. You still are. I lost, she said softly. Take care, Elise. I replied and walked to the checkout, not looking back. That chapter was closed. 8 months after leaving, life had found a rhythm. Work was good. Nolan was thriving with alternating weeks at my house. I had started casually dating Patricia, a divorced high school teacher with 2 kids. Everything was slow and steady. One Saturday morning, while working on the garage with Nolan, my phone buzzed. Geneva Hart. Mr. Kane, update. Desmond Parrish was sentenced yesterday, 5 years federal prison. Your case was instrumental. I breathed a sigh of relief. Also, your ex-wife entered a residential treatment program for at least 90 days. She has officially returned custody of her children to Randall. After hanging up, I stood processing it. Elise was getting help. Not my problem anymore, but still good. Everything okay, Dad? Nolan asked. Yeah, buddy. Everything's good. Better than good, I said, looking at the garage we were turning into a workshop. Let's finish this, then grab lunch. Can we go to that barbecue place? Nolan asked, grinning. Absolutely. Later, Vincent stopped by to check the garage. We stood in the driveway with beers, watching the sunset. You look settled, he observed. Content. Work I like. My son here. A house that's mine. Even seeing someone, I admitted. Patricia, he asked. Yes, nothing serious yet, but she's good. Funny. She listens. Normal. That's what you needed all along, Vincent said. You did well, Fletcher. Most men would have gone back. Guilt, loneliness, whatever. But you stayed gone. Built something real. That takes courage, he said. Couldn't have done it without you pushing me at the gym, reminding me I had a spine. I replied. You always had it. Just forgot for a while, Vincent corrected. So what's next? I asked. Keep building. Show Nolan what a good man looks like. Be honest with yourself and others. See where things go with Patricia. Just keep moving forward, Vincent said, raising his beer. To moving forward, I echoed, clinking bottles. That night, after Vincent left and Nolan was asleep, I sat on the back porch looking at the stars. 8 months ago, I was invisible at home, walking on eggshells, thinking silence and accommodation meant strength. Real strength wasn't staying. It was knowing when to leave, protecting yourself, refusing to shrink for someone else's expectations. Elise had ignored me for years. When I left, regret consumed her while she searched desperately. But by then, I had already found myself, stronger, clearer, more honest than ever. My phone buzzed. Message from Patricia. Hope you had a good day. Coffee tomorrow? I smiled and typed back. Sounds perfect. I was 42, twice married, taken for granted, financially betrayed, emotionally abandoned. But I had survived. More than survived, I had built something real from the ashes. And for the first time in years, I was genuinely excited for tomorrow.